93 Boxing. I'm back with a quick video. Andrew Ward versus Sergey Kovalev post-fight thoughts, man. I picked Andrew Ward to beat him by a decision. It surprised me a little bit. It surprised me a bit with a knockout, with a stoppage. Andrew Ward stopped Sergey Kovalev, and let me break this down through as the fight's playing out. Andrew Ward, I feel like started off the fight all started off very competitive. It started off both fighters being competitive. Kovalev landing a jab, occasional right hand. The jab was very good, especially at long distance. Andrew Ward was landing his jab as well, especially as he gets closer. His sudden left hooks that he was landing. The first 4 rounds were competitive. I had it pretty much even. Maybe you could give, maybe if you're nice to Kovalev, can give 3 rounds out of 4 in the first 4 rounds. But then 5, 6, 7 was all Ward. And, looking at the first round even, I could tell, Andrew Ward was saying there was a lot of hiccups in the camp, and I feel like that definitely played a part, because Andrew Ward looked way better in this fight than he did in the last fight. Really, seriously. He looked sharper. He looked sharp even at round 7, 8. He was super sharp. He was sharp, he was fast, he was on point. Every time maintained balance, poised. I was very impressed with Andrew Ward. In the previous fight with Andrew, this time I felt like this is Andrew Ward back to where he should be. This is Andrew Ward as we see it, as we should have seen it, as we should have known. This is how Andrew was supposed to be. Because in the previous fight, Andrew Ward wasn't Andrew Ward. Especially looking at the rematch, Andrew Ward was actually, he was taking Kovalev shots pretty well, and the fight went on to round 5, where you could tell even in the early rounds, I could be wrong, but Kovalev was very relaxed. In the first fight, Kovalev was in this fight, I felt like Kovalev was relaxed to the point where it was slightly even demotivating for him. He wasn't digging that deep inside. Even in the first few rounds, I realized, in round 2, 3, 4, in the first fight, he was trying to do a bit more, I guess. But you know what happened? I felt like the first fight, he couldn't knock him out. And the second fight, he never really hurt Andrew Ward badly. And I think Andrew Ward was a little bit crafty, cagey. It kind of made Sergey Kovalev frustrated. He was mentally gassing out. I felt like in the first few rounds, he was actually mentally gassing out. And once your mind started gassing out, no matter how many miles you ran in the gym, or whatever you did in the gym, it don't matter. If your mind's gassed out, you're gassed out, or at least you will be gassed out. As Sergey Kovalev physically gassed out as well in the first fight, got tired. And Andrew Ward, he went to the body here and there, he went to the head. Andrew Ward was actually landing shots to the point, if a person who never seen boxing, right, suddenly, never seen these two fighters, whether they've seen boxing or not, never seen these two fighters fight, and they watch the fight, whenever those fighters were landing exchanges, you think Andrew Ward might be the bigger puncher. He was landing sharp punches when least expected, to the point. It was great, man. He was landing. Andrew Ward came in shape. I'm actually kind of speechless. Round 5, he kept applying to the body shot. He kept applying body shots, head shots, doing all kinds of stuff. 5, 6, 7. And Kovalev really gassed out in round 7. Really, really gassed out. I mean, he gassed out mentally, in my opinion, in round 3, 4, 5. Physically started gassing out starting from round 5. And he almost to the point where he mentally quit in round 2, because it's not to it's kind of like credit to Ward, because Ward kind of mentally took his will away. Kovalev, honestly, in round 7 he was almost out, in my opinion. He just he was completely gassed out, and I was thinking to myself, wow, compared to round 1 and now, Ward is still performing like this is round 1 almost. He was performing sharp. He was strong, sharp, conditioned, for the whole lot. Kovalev was gassing out, and I'm now you can tell who works hard, who works harder. Now you can tell who's more mentally confident. Now you can tell who wants it the most. In the first fight, it was like almost both fighters wanted the most, but Ward just kind of showed that willpower. But this time, the willpower was combined with just the training, and I guess there was less hiccups in this camp. It makes Ward more believable. Now he went to the 8th round and he heard Kovalev. He heard Kovalev with a hard right hand. And you know what? All these people that are saying this guy's not a puncher or whatever, all these racist motherfuckers that have been saying this, oh, Ward's not a big puncher, this and that. And now you look at him. Kovalev got rocked harder than anyone. Andrew Ward never got rocked like that in this fight. And apart from the knockdown in the first fight, Andrew Ward never got rocked like that in the first fight either. So you can't tell me this Kovalev guy is invincible. No, he wasn't. And you have to give Andrew Ward credit. And when it comes to the actual stoppages with body shots, there were some punches that were quite low, right? But I'm being honest, right? There were some punches that were quite low. But to the point, it was nowhere near his balls, man. I mean, his balls, you think that no one has balls that high, right? It was a bit below the belt. I mean, whoever's making these excuses, right? I mean, I don't know, man. It was low, and I guess the referee should have warned him. And Paulie Malignaggi was saying, if the referee warned him, would he be throwing that many body shots? We don't know, but at the same time, right? Sergey Kovalev was bending down like as if he got hit to the balls. It was bullshit, man. He was chatting shit. He's a fucking fraud, man. A racist fraud. A lying racist bitch. Just like I said he was. I'm happy, man. I'm real happy because what Sergey Kovalev did, all that racist shit, that I wasn't cool with that, man. That was fucked up. And I feel like he got what he deserved in this fight. All people were saying, oh, Ward's going to get knocked out. Ward's going to do this, do that. No, Kovalev got knocked out. He got stopped. He was out. He was almost out with that right hand. Kovalev got rocked hard. Ward beat the dog shit out of him, man. He just beat the fuck out of him. Straight. Everyone have to give Andrew Ward credit. And you know what? In my pound for pound list, and pound for pound subjective, right? Before the Kovalev Ward and on the Kovalev Ward, the first one, he didn't look as impressive as he did in this fight and as he did in like against some other fighters, Carl Froch, a few other good fighters that he fought in the Super 6. But, and for that reason, I kind of put Canelo above Andrew Ward in my subjective pound for pound list. I base my pound for pound list based on ability first, resume second. And I do think Canelo is more of a capable fighter than Andrew Ward, but only by slightly. But that's subjective as well. We don't know, right? We don't know. Andrew Ward's been in so many top fighters. The thing is, I personally put Andrew Ward right now in the number one pound for pound list. He has to be. Look, he has to be in number one pound for pound. No Lomachenko. No. You remember Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez? You remember him? Not him for sure. Not Terence Crawford in my opinion, although he belongs up there. I personally put Andrew Ward number one. Man, Andrew Ward, right? This is the thing. You look at all these pound for pound lists and look at all the fighters that pretty much anyone's pound for pound list, right? They like to put people like Golovkin. Rarely people put Canelo. I mean, I put Canelo, but I don't see a lot of people putting Canelo there, okay? They put Keith Thurman, Golovkin, Lomachenko, Terence Crawford, and they used to put Chocolatito, right? Let's include him for now. I mean, trying to make a point, right? Trying to make a point. Maybe Errol Spence as well. Quite a lot. I mean, who else is there? I mean, Floyd Mayweather Jr., right? Even Manny Pacquiao was there for a long time. All these fighters have physical talent, right? They're given with physical gifts. Like, they're born with something, right? Golovkin, no matter how much of a fucking hype job he seems to me, he does have a lot of power, from what it seems like, right? I mean, his power may not be as good as or as strong as what people thought it was. He's been just knocking out B-level fighters, C-level fighters, but he has power. Andrew Ward, I'm not saying he doesn't have power. I'm not saying he doesn't have speed. But he's not... Like, look at Lomachenko. Look how physically talented he is. He's got speed. He's got power. Look at Floyd Mayweather. at the lower weight divisions, he has some pop, but he has tremendous speed, reflexive speed. You know, he can throw combinations fast, single shots fast, fast feet, really fast feet. You look at Gonzalez, he was very physically talented in his weight division. You look at Keith Thurman, again, he's a fast fighter with a hard punch. These gifted, these are gifts. Like, you can call it God-gifted ability or whatever. And all of these things, right? Anyone pretty much you can think of, almost anyone, like 90% of these people that people tend to put in pound for pound list, they have physical talent. Terence Crawford hits hard, but it's also fast. Pretty fast. Terence Crawford's a fast fighter. And Andre was not slow, but he never had the physical talent. And yet he makes it to the pound for pound list, and actually he deserves to be in the number 1 pound for pound list. That shows you how hard Andre Ward works. That shows you how consistent he's been in his whole career. That's inspirational, man. That's inspirational. So you know what? Anytime in life you think you can't do it, look at I personally look at Andre Ward. Like, a person maybe like, let's say you're trying to make money, right? Another person is able to make more money because they have money already, they inherited from their family or whatever. Don't look at that saying that they have a better advantage, that they got gifted. Just work hard. Don't look at those things. And you know, that's inspirational. I really think Andre was the number 1 pound for pound fighter in the world. I'm really happy. I'm really impressed, man. I'm actually really impressed. It's really, really good fight, man. He's a really good fighter. Kovalev's not no slouch, but he's not no crusher, especially compared to Andre Ward. Let me know what you think. 93 Boxing, I'm out.